working from home can get very lonely. A study done last year was showing that, you'll see in the top bar there, that 22% of people said the biggest struggle that they have working remotely is actually switching off, unplugging and stopping working. But the second thing, 19%, is loneliness. So communicating with colleagues and with other people, the outside world, is crucial in these times. In fact, it's more crucial than any other time. Which is why all the remote services such as Zoom and so on are really in high demand at the moment. Okay, you may be a manager, or even if you are not a manager, it could be that you could suggest to do a 10-minute call to kick off the day every day and wrap up the day with a 10-minute call with your team. Often, if you suggest this, your manager possibly hasn't even thought about it, and it's a way of connecting back in with other people. Now is the time to connect with your manager even more, and your colleagues even more. And the advantage here is that they're all at home too, and they are all going through this process the same as you. Some of them will have children too. Some of them will be feeling lonely or struggling to stay focused. But the thing is, nobody's traveling. Nobody is saying, I'm not available on an airline. So it's actually easier to get into contact with people now. So use it. As much as possible, communication should be face-to-face and instant. So if you can, all of the WebEx stuff, all of the Zoom meetings, all the things that you can do where everybody is live, and really encourage people to show up in vision, because it's the human faces that we need. It's that human contact, not just the voices. Even these people that are used to working at home, it can be very isolating. I have a family with me, but I'm isolated from my friends and my other colleagues. So what I'm going to show you in a moment is so some fun shots of me potentially hosting a meeting or being part of a meeting with colleagues. I actually have this on video. I'm very happy to share that too. It's just a little fun little sketch of me doing some meetings, maybe not so effectively, and then moving on to the most effective stuff that many of you may have thought about, but maybe some of you haven't, because I have seen it when I have literally been in people's homes through a camera. So here I am, I'm waiting for my meeting to start. What I haven't done is check my background. And I have obviously dressed this to show you what I have actually seen. So there I have my washing in the background, you know, some cushions racked up. I also have the all important stash of toilet paper in the background, and I'm drinking out of one of my children's mugs, and I haven't brushed my hair. So I really haven't thought about how I physically show up online. And actually, this is helping. This is where you can credentialize yourself. This is still part of your brand, even although you're showing up virtually. It's about your connectivity. It's about your ability to make those connections, even although you're not physically there. So really think about that background. So here we are. This is a bit of fun as well. When you're at the end of the meeting, really think about, have I actually turned this off? Have I turned the camera off? Have I turned the sound off? Because this is me standing up after that meeting. My camera is still on. I've been wearing my nice dress to show up at that work meeting with my nice jewelry. And actually, there I go. I'm having a little bit of a scratch, and I'm wearing my pajama trousers. So just please be aware. And also, when you are showing up, think about the light on your face as well. A lot of the time what I see is people sitting in front of windows, and when the window is behind you, then your face is in darkness. So sometimes I use a little light. So I have one here. Sometimes I use that to try and help and illuminate my face so people can actually see me when I'm communicating, or I'll sit in front of a window. So here I am being a little bit more effective. And I've cleared up all the stuff at the back, and I am, you know, I've pulled my hair back. But what I'm doing there is I'm not making any eye contact with you. I'm actually looking either at myself, which is what most of us do, or I'm looking at you because I think I'm communicating with your picture, but actually my eye line is taken to another place on the screen. So you need to start thinking of yourself almost like a TV presenter or a newsreader, and look right down the lens of that webcam when you are speaking, when you are communicating that message, because the other people are getting that eye contact. Of course, you also want to see their faces and you want to interact with them. So when they are speaking, that is when you can then look at their faces and see how that how they're communicating facially. Very important. But do remember, this is the way that we should be looking. So there I am, I'm talking to my virtual team, I'm smiling, and I'm looking down that camera to try and get some engagement. So it's not just always about work when we are showing up online in our teams, it's also about thinking about those virtual water cooler moments, the times when we actually just chat to people in the kitchen when we're making coffee, when we're at work. Those informal interactions strengthen the social bonds, and it's very important. So what can we do? We could begin each meeting with a personal roundup of what's been going well, what are your challenges, asking open questions and really listening to the answers. Perhaps you can hold virtual coffee breaks, or maybe, you know, it's Friday night drinks. Whatever you do normally, perhaps you can do this online. Just get together for maybe half an hour out, on Friday afternoon and do what you usually do and have that social time. Maybe you could do some virtual team building exercises, maybe some quizzes, you know, the one thing that people don't know about me, or something like, you know, something ridiculous that I have in my house, you know, guess what it is. Anything at all to give people some humor and to feel that they're still part of humanity rather than being stuck in their own homes just spinning out of control. It's everyone's responsibility to look after each other in this way. Even if you're the most junior person in your team, you can come up with those ideas. Those are the things that are actually going to help to bind us and help us to move forward and to come out of this with our resilience and our happiness. Okay, so I just want to briefly talk about team performance and what happens to us when we're forming new teams. And this isn't, of course, we potentially have been in a team when we have been physically in the workplace, but this has all changed now. So now actually we're creating a new team because we're doing it virtually and online. And this can also be used for your family, for your children, for the people that you're working with in the home. So what very often happens is when we're forming at the beginning, nobody really knows who they are and what they're doing, not quite sure what the structure is. Then we dip a little bit and we get into the storming part where people are jostling for position, they're not feeling very supported. And then it goes into the norming part where you now have a potential team, people kind of know what is expected of them, and we move into the performing where everybody is doing their jobs at the right time and knows and is well connected with each other. And then we go into adjourning and mourning at the end. So navigating each stage, even if this is thinking about your own family, forming, so establishing clear objectives for the team members. We need to have that communication together and ask questions of people, you know, what is going to work for you? So people need to feel listened, they need to feel safe, and they need to feel that they're adding value. Storming part, that's when we really dip into that part of the curve. And what we need to do is to establish processes and structures. We need to be able to build trust. So that actually means getting in front of each other even more, building the good relationships, resolving conflicts quickly and moving on, and providing the support to other people that are maybe feeling less secure. The norming part of this, well, what we can do then is to help team members to take responsibility for setting their own goals and moving towards those. So maybe you might want to bring in some coaching, or maybe some team coaching at that time, or mentoring or coaching buddies. And you can also do that in your home. Performing, that's when we're starting to focus on the goals and the other areas of work that we may want to add into those goals. And the adjourning is also about taking time to celebrate success, not just moving on to the next project. It's actually telling other people that I thought you did brilliantly there, I'm taking a note of this, and everybody else should know about it, because we also need that boost. We need that testosterone boost to feel that we are powerful and that we're somehow in control of our destinies, even if it's for a small space on a project at work. This Power Squad is very much about you. So this is building a team around you, not necessarily just your colleagues, but this can also be friendships as well. So I call these champions and cheerleaders. These are the people that talk about you positively to other people. They're the ones that really compliment you and tell you how brilliant you are. Think about your friendship groups, think about your colleagues. Who can you put into that kind of section of your Power Squad? This isn't about putting people in boxes, but it's actually knowing who these people are when you need them most. Your analysts and your researchers are the people who always kind of, they're your sensible people, the people that make the non-emotional balanced solutions to problems. They're very pragmatic. So for me, if I have an emotional problem, if I'm feeling really upset about something, I actually don't go to my emotional group. I will go to the people that are pragmatic, that can then say, hang on, let's take a step back, let's pick this apart, look at it rationally from all different angles, and in that way, I get a different perspective on my problem. Then you have your elevators, your distractors, the people that pick you up when you're down, the fun people, the people that create excitement. Maybe those are the people that you have your online parties with at the weekend. Get them together, do some online games with them, not necessarily, you know, the ones where you're sitting in front of the screen playing games, but actually play games together, do those quizzes, sing songs, get them involved, more involved in your life. Then you've got your nurturers and your carers. Those are the people that look after your needs, who notice when you're not feeling yourself, the quieter ones that really are very reflective and they have lots of empathy. Build those people around you and make sure that you're making contact with them, even if it is deliberate contact, going, do you know what, right now I need a nurturer or a carer. Do it for yourself. You need to build those teams and be the manager of that team, no matter where you are in the pecking order of society.